Hi, it's Jez here from nigez.co.uk. Today I'm here with something different. I'm launching a new series. It's probably going to come out once a week. And it's my junk journal. So I have been spending January playing with some stash that I've had for absolute years, and sort of putting it with some stamping up stuff that I've got, and things that I've actually gone out and purchased sort of recently to make this. I haven't quite finished it yet. I was going to finish the whole thing before I sort of launched it, but I've got to the stage now where I thought I've done enough of it to give you a look at sort of where I am, and then I'll start the process of how I got here, and then I'll be doing bits as we go along. So this is the cover, which I finished yesterday, no, the day before. Finished it the day before yesterday. So I've been watching lots and lots of people, so I will write a blog post and I will link to the people that I have been watching. I've been watching Shabby Dabby Doodah. Really love her videos, and I watched Smarty Maze, and I've watched a couple of others, and Paper Outpost. So I've mainly stuck, I specifically went out and looked for UK ones because I wanted to be able to buy the stuff that they use. That was my reasoning for that. So here we are on the front cover. So I'll say lots of things I had in my stash. I had these vintage postcards in my stash. I had this little topper, these flowers which I've distressed. There's some paper behind there that I've used. That's an old dictionary which I bought quite a while ago. Well, not quite a while ago actually. I bought it in the last 12 months. I think I bought it in the summer to do a junk journal with. The stamps behind that I've used here, that's Crumb Cake, or Stampin' Up. I've used Stampin' Up inks. That's a bit of lace I got in a charity shop. That's some old retired Stampin' Up ribbon. And this is from a scrap store, and I believe it's from a vertical blind. So I thought that would go around the spine. It covers up my stitching. It is a stitched one, and I went a little bit heavy-handed on the glue, so I will cover that up eventually. I'm leaving the back as it is for now, because yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. This key and sort of lock thing I got from the Works. I bought a whole set, so I've got quite a few to sort of choose from. I may well change this key for something smaller, because when I sort of did this, and I'm realising, I think partly it's because of these acrylic nails I'm not actually used to, but it's not over easy to get out. But then I guess that's a good thing, so you don't want it just sort of popping open, do you? And then you maybe don't want anybody to quickly just have a little peek in your journal. So yeah, so it's not too bad actually. That was pretty all right. So I watched a video, I can't remember whose, I will link, to different fastenings, and this one I really liked because it's got room to grow, and I quite like that. So I opened it up. I made a few rookie mistakes. That's upside down. So when I sort of sewed my signatures in, this was supposed to be on this side. This was supposed to be the front, but I sewed them all in upside down, but never mind. Another rookie mistake I made was these signatures. I made sort of 3 separate signatures. I show you how I made this one, and then these 2 I made in exactly the same way but separately, and I sewed them all separately, and then when I came to put it together it was like, I need to sew them to this. So but I mean, there'd be no reason why you couldn't have that as a separate sort of little journal. So yeah. So these aren't decorated. I've done a slight bit of decorating. So I've done a bit of stamping on here with some Stampin' Up stamps. These are all my, well, that's dyed with, I think I've got all 3 of them on this page. I think that's not aubergine, avocado dyed. That'll be coffee dyed, and that'll be tea dyed. Yeah, I love these stamp sets that I've used on this. I specifically wanted for junk journaling. I've done a little bit of decorating, but I decided to stop because I want to. It just take too long, and then this series will never get out. So that's why I've sort of stopped. So I've used maps, got old books, I really enjoyed the coffee making and the die making. And I sat the other night and made some envelopes, and I thought those would probably just get paper clipped in. And so I started a little bit of decorating in here, and then just sort of stopped because I'm gonna do bits as we go along. And there's a bit of me that thinks this is stamping up linen thread, which works really well. You can see the difference in the colour that you get depending on whether you use coffee or tea, or indeed avocado, a little pink. Yeah, I want to sort of, each page, depends what I'm going to journal on it, what memory am I going to sort of put in there. So I thought I'd be decorating it as I do it. But I did sort of have a little play at making some tags, which I will remake on camera. It's not rocket science really, but yeah, they aren't finished, these ones, but it was just sort of a start. And that is like the first signature, and then they're all pretty much the same. I did make this tag, and I thought, because that sort of matches that page there, that I might have this sort of on here somewhere, just some ideas. So basically it goes on, and it's exactly the same. So I say there's a few bits that I have sort of made an envelope there. Quite like that envelope. Well, it's not, I didn't make the envelope was already made. I've just sort of decorated it, put some book page on the inside, found a few cards that just happened to fit in, that catch in there, and then I got a bit of a postcard that I could tuck in there if I wanted to, and then I could just add it to there. So I have done a little bit playing, and I don't think there's anything else that I particularly did. A little bit of decorating here. That's tracing paper. I just love that sound. Reminds me of those kids. One of my kids had a toy and it crinkled like that. I just love it. So that's a nice little memory in itself. So yeah, I haven't done too much in these, so that I can sort of do it all with you. So I just wanted to show you really where I got, and so now I'll show you how I started. So I hope you enjoy it. If you I'll put the title up that it is junk journaling, so if you're not interested in junk journaling, then you don't have to watch that video and just wait for my usual Stampin' Up video as well. But this is like my day off, really. This is me having a little bit of fun with me crafting. So yeah, hope you enjoy it. So here is some stash that I've got. So I've got these Ordnance Survey maps that my brother gave me, was checking out, and so I thought they would look good. So maps, the way they're folded, I just literally ripped it down the folds and left just that sort of size there. There's some doilies, had them for yonks. Some music paper I recently bought, well, a year ago, thinking they'd be useful in scrapbooking in some way. And then I found this graph paper, which I really liked. It's quite thick, really, and I thought that would look good. And then I found a pad of tracing paper. Not seen tracing paper for absolutely years. And then there's this Ducraft set that I bought, I don't know how many years ago, 5 maybe, and always intended on using it for a journal, a scrapbook, mini album of some sort, full of die cuts. There's some decoupage, beautiful floral papers in it, and yeah, so that is my stash. And so I coffee dyed those. So here is a coffee, a teed, and avocado dyed these paper. I had lots and lots and lots of fun doing that. So I did some of the die cut elements from that Doocraft set. I'll maybe not do that again. They're kind of dried in the oven, so they come a bit crispy, and yeah, a little bit stiff maybe to sort of use. So I think I won't bother with that again. I'll just distress them with inks. But I did like the way the papers turned out. I needed to coffee dye because the other side of the papers is white, so that's they definitely had to be coffee or tea dyed. I think they were actually, as opposed to coffee dyed. So yeah, and I've got a nice little baking tray with grids on it to get that sort of effect. So that was off a video that I watched. So I will link the people that I got the ideas from, so that you can go and check them out. So this is probably done over, I think I spent 3 dyeing sessions doing these, a couple of hours each time, and I actually sort of ironed them. So these are like the different shades. You see different shades. So some are tea, some are coffee, and some are avocado. The sort of pinky tinge ones are the avocado ones, and I've done sort of some folded, some that I laid doilies over, so you've got that sort of imprint when it sort of came out, and I don't know what I'm saying there. So yeah, I've done the maps as well. I might be digging those out in a sec. So I think I'm just flicking through to find the difference between sort of the coffee. Those ones are just a bit well done in the oven. The first lot I did, I air dried and then used my heat tool a bit. So there's me finding the maps. So it didn't really make much difference to the map side because they already had that sort of bit of sepia sort of look about them. But the other side, because they were white, have done really well. That one was, the coffee had pooled a lot, and so I pulled it out of the oven and then sort of dried it with my iron. That one I folded, soaked it in the tea, cooked it that way, and then unfolded it and sort of ironed it out. These are my first attempts, and I actually sort of screwed the paper up, and yeah, I didn't really like that look. And these are just sort of like straightforward sort of dyeing, and that's, yeah, that one was overdone in the oven. And then I'm showing you how it looks when you sort of lay over your doily, and you get that lovely sort of colour coming through, which I really liked. And I even did some doilies on top of doilies as well to sort of get sort of different effects. And you can see there the effect of a doily on a doily. Yeah, so, and then I did some tracing paper, and it is quite, some of them are quite brittle. It's very noisy, so I'm not sure. I might just do little elements with those as opposed to have whole pages with tracing paper. It's always good to experiment, and then you sort of know what kind of works and what doesn't work. And then these are the last ones. So I found that the coffee made them smell a bit. The tea doesn't really smell, and the avocado didn't really smell, but the coffee does smell. So I will decide as I'm making whether or not I like the smell of coffee in my journal. I like the smell of coffee, but whether or not I want it in my journal, I'm not really sure. So I'm just now sort of picking out what I actually want in my sort of first signature. I knew I wanted the botanical sheet as a cover, so now I'm just sort of picking out others of the papers. I want, you know, a sort of a range of different papers through it, to make the sort of interesting and different. So I'm just sort of flicking through there and sort of picking them out, and then I kind of go off camera to sort of properly sort of order them and make sure I haven't got too many bits of paper. So yes, I think I'm just counting there. I think I did about 20
I'll probably tell you in the next section. So yeah, so I'll just put them all together. They'll all be just folded in half and placed together sort of how I want it. Do a little bit of faffing and fiddling and until I'm sort of happy really with sort of like the order and how they look as well. So I realise as I'm doing this that I'm faffing and it might be a bit boring. So I kind of stopped then and did it off camera.
So I've got these envelopes that I got in Staple, and the DL envelopes, and they're made of manila, and I quite liked that, and they are sort of self-sealing, which I thought would be quite good because then that's like a pocket already in it, and I could take that bit off. So you've got a pocket like that that's already got a nice little fold over that's sort of stuck down, but it does need a little bit of distressing, I think, to go in. So I think I might add 2 of those in, and then I might do a little bit of inking up with this. So I just want to take off the slices, the slices. I'm going to slice that section off. So that's going to create 2 nice pockets, and I'll probably cover these bits up at a later stage. I'm going to put all the signatures together, all the pages together, and then I'm going to do the decoration, and that's probably when I'm going to use some of those elements from that set. Sort of these things I can sort of stick over those bits. I thought would be quite nice, bit of doily behind. They were my ideas. I might keep those. Never chuck nothing away. So I'm gonna do a little bit of distressing on that.
So I'm using my Stampin' Up inks. I'm using the neutrals. I've got Early Espresso, Shade Soft Suede and Crumb Cake, and I'm using some sponges, and I'm using some makeup brushes that I got for Christmas for blending, and I'm just basically going around the edges with it to make the envelope look old and not spanking brand new like what it is. And then I'm just going to pick out a few little die cuts from that botanical set and stick it over the labels on the envelopes, and I'm distressing those bits up. Those aren't the ones that were coffee dyed. Those were non-coffee dyed ones, and I'm just distressing them and sticking them down. So yeah.
So I've done this one. I'm not going to decorate this one because I think I might decorate it once it's in place. So now I'm just going to go through and fold everything in half. So, because this is going to be an A5, I just thought that's the simplest to begin with.
So here I am, just literally folding them in half, using my bone folder to make the crease. And yeah, I'll just go through. Wasn't quite sure how many pages I needed at this stage, so I just folded over everything that I had selected. I was deciding there whether I wanted music on the outside or music on the inside. So yeah, that's me done.
Okay, so I've gone through it and I've had a bit of a fiddle, and I've decided 8 pages is enough, so I've took some out and rearrange. So I'm counting the cover of the signature as a page, and this is where I ended up wanting things. And I've folded that bit up there, so we've got a little tuck spot there. Not quite sure how that will work, given that it's a doily. I might reinforce with some paper at a later date. So then we get to the middle. Love the way that works there, and it does on the other side. I'm not sure if that's actually the doily that I laid on it, but it looks pretty cool. I like it. And again, we've got there that tuck spot, and then we've got a bit of doily there to reflect. This is the avocado stain. I really like having that extra little colour in it. Another envelope. Love the way I folded these. Got our map, and there we are, back to the beginning. So that's what we're doing. As I say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sheets all together, plus a couple of doilies, plus a couple of envelopes. So now we need to sew it together. So I'm making sure the bottom is all in line, and then the sides are in line, and then I've got some little bulldog clips, and I'm just gonna clip the bottom there. I'm going to put a clip on each side, and the map is what's sticking out, so I'm just going to trim it down. Now, one of the things I like about this new hobby of mine, junk journaling, is that you don't have to be precise and everything, and you can just cut things. So I'm just going to trim. So I've got some nice big scissors, and I'm just going to go along and trim down using the pages as a guide. Which reminds me of dressmaking. That's how I used to cut my fabric, by leaning the scissors on the table and going up. There we go. Don't quite like the way I've got scissor marks there, so I am just going to neaten that up slightly. Maybe using dressmaking technique is not the thing you should do with paper. So that's that. Chuck those, and then I can put another bulldog clip at this end, ready for sewing. So I've got a big foam mat there, and I'm going to use my pokey tool, and I'm going to poke a hole in the middle, just quite random. This is quite a thick pokey tool. My little pokey tool has fallen down the side of the desk, and I haven't got it out yet. So I'm just going to eyeball it and go through, and that's gone through the other side. Slightly not on the spine, but I don't think it matters. It's a junk journal. What does it matter? Do what we want. Then I'm kind of going, I'm not going halfway between there and the end, I'm going a little bit further up. What I haven't checked was where my envelopes are, which has slipped a bit. So the envelope's a little bit towards the bottom, doesn't matter. And then go this side, about there. All right on the edge of me foam mat. There we go. Now, I'll say they are quite big holes, which is quite fortunate because I couldn't find my a big needle, so I can actually poke through these holes. I'm using some linen thread here, Stampin' Up linen thread. You can use other things. I remember years ago making necklaces, and I'm going 2.5 that length, and it was suggested dental floss, because I don't know if you've ever tried to break dental floss, but you can't. And so that was suggested as what to do to string the beads along. So I was going to use some dental floss in this, but linen thread is also pretty unbreakable. I think people use embroidery cotton. Now that I can pretty well poke through. I'm going to put my glasses on. I was doing the other 2 signatures last night in front of the telly, and we have sort of quite ambient lighting in our lounge. I didn't have my glasses. My little craft, oh, that hasn't caught them all in. My little craft lamp that I often have beside me if I do any crafting in front of the telly was in the spare room, because I used it as a bedside lamp for my mother-in-law over Christmas, and I haven't moved it down yet. Just going to see if I can poke that bit through. So I was struggling last night, but I did get them all in. So I think I used my pokey tool a bit to help with this. A needle is much quicker, but I have no idea. I might have to go and buy a new one. Got a pokey tool with a ball, which might be better. Well, that's quite a small ball. There we are, that's got it. That's going through. So I'll pull that through, take the glasses off, because I can only do it close up. Far away I can't see. So what I do is I leave a bit that side for tying, and then go back through. Doesn't matter if you go to the top or the bottom. And then go all the way through the other end. And this is all those endless videos I've watched paying off. So I see how this did. And that's kind of, oh, do you know, one video the other day called it something, and I can't remember what they called it. But it's just like it's like 3 stitches. Get in. So yeah, I would invest in a needle to do this, and possibly make your holes a bit smaller, but hey ho. So then we're going to poke this in, so we need a little bit more. So pull that one to give us a little bit more, and then that's going to go back through the centre there. And because you've already got some thread in there, this was the one that I struggled with the most, and that went in first time. There you go. So pull that through. So we've got 2 threads coming out, make them about even. We've got that one there, so I'm going to put 1 thread either side of that there. Put them tight. It's nice and tight. That's not nice and tight. It is now. And then tie a knot. Tie a knot, nice and tight. Get rid of that. And then I tie a second knot, just for luck. And then a bow. the end slightly. And then I did double bow because I don't want this to come undone. Take off these, put them back in my little cat pot. This is cat food. My friend's got a cat and she had these and I went, oh, they're so cute. I went, I'll have those in my craft room, which do use them, but they waste space when you pile them next to each other because of the ears, but they're cute. So there we have it. That is a nice signature. There, put all that away, and let's see what it looks like. I quite like that knotted there. I like the linen thread. I think it goes really well with the vintage look. So there we are. We can now flick through. It's slightly squiff, but I don't think I mind. I'm going to decorate that in a sec. There we've got our pages. That one we'd already done a little bit of decoration on, but not enough in my opinion. Going to do something with that tuck spot. Love that. How gorgeous. It's a fluke. There we go. I won't say it's a fluke. Say I did that by design. And there, another little tuck spot. And there, love that. So yeah, that's me signature done. So the only bit of decoration at this stage I want to do is these pockets because they're in there. So we need something to cover that, and I have got things that are tea dyed, but I'm gonna take some of the things that I haven't tea dyed and sort of distress them. So look through here, got lots of die cuts in here that I think could be used and distressed up, and maybe layer with some of the ooh, I might put them all in a pot and then it's easier to look at, isn't it? So got lots of different things here, these sort of nice ovals. What are we looking at covering up? That. So we've got green on that side, so we've got something, ooh, that's quite nice. I think we'll go for something greeny. Oh, there's that, and then there's room to write on it. I don't want any sentiments yet because I don't know what I'm going to put on the pages. But I could put that in it and then it reflects that green there quite nicely. So I will use that. Layer it up maybe with a bit of that. Quite like that. So it's all sort of layered up. Maybe that doesn't need to be green. Oh, there's that one. I am so glad I'm using this. I can't tell you the amount of years ago I bought this. Maybe 5. That's quite good because that flowers match there. So if I have that poking out, I'm going to look for something pinky to go behind. Have we got a pink circle like that? Green one. That would be nice. Flick, flick, flick. Pinky flower. Too dark. Maybe that one. Maybe just that. I'll use that on the other side. So, get this lot distressed up. So, bring in my brush, some ink, my sponges. And see what we get. So, gonna do these. Gonna do early espresso around the edges. I think the sponges do better for edging things than the brush. I love getting all inky and shabby chicy. I am thoroughly enjoying making this. Matter of fact, last night I was up till gone one watching rubbish on the telly. I watched some programme about women, mainly women, well it was all women on the show, going to Turkey to have plastic surgery whilst on holiday. So you book into these like all-inclusive places that have got plastic surgery attached, as you do. And so they have liposuction and boob jobs, etc. And then relax in the sun to recover. I thought, well, yeah. Most people go on holiday on all-inclusive, rather, stuff their faces and come back half a stone heavier. These lot go, have liposuction and come back lighter. Like that, I think that works. I think that is better than the tea dyeing them. You're getting a similar effect. There's a tea dyed one. So we're getting the same effect, but it's not got that paper baked crumply sort of ness about it. So let's just do some inking around this flower. I'm getting, my hands are just ridiculous. Tea stained, and now all this inking that I'm doing. I don't think they're going to be clean for a while, but never mind. And then I'm going to bring in some doily, or some of it. So I've got a paper doily there that's a bit overdone, and then I've got this tracing paper, which I was kind of ripping last night and using. I am going to show you what I did last night. And I think they work quite well. Move this lot out of the way because I don't need it all now. So, one of the things I did was I did a bit of wrapping of the doilies. So, let's cut a bit out of the doily. So we'll cut a quarter. That sort of worked quite well. And then kind of stuck it under there. And then had a bit coming up on the other side. And then we can stick those down. That's one possibility, or I might just use a bit of this. And what I basically did was rip it. Love Love the crinkle sound. My kids we used to give them the telly paper, the telly listings that you get every week. We used to give them that when it had run out, and they used to spend hours just ripping. They loved it. So I'll put that under there like so, and have that peeping out. So we just got a little bit of extra interest, and I'm going to glue that down on 3 sides so it's a bit of a tuck spot. I'll glue all this down. There's my glue. There it is in a pot. Managed to lose the lid last night. Hey ho. So I'm going to glue that down. I'm not bothered that you can see the glue because that bit's going to get covered. And it's already stained, so it actually doesn't matter, which is a win-win really, isn't it? And then we're going to stick this flower down. About there. And then I'm just going to put glue down, an L shape, cover up that staple sign. Like so, and then we have got a little bit of a tuck spot going on there, quite cute. And then on this side I've got that, I might just take one of those that I've just make something simple. Might just rip this, actually. Have a bit of that, have a bit of that, have a bit of that. Just decorate the corner a bit. And I might just do a thumb hole there and then no, I won't. No, change my mind. Maybe pocket that side. This just actually, because it's just a decorative element, might have something bigger on there. Just looking here. Right, so this is something I did last night and I'm going to show you because I think this is dead cool. So I'm taking that frame out. Let's get these distressed. Yeah, when I did this last night, I thought, oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, I think it would be nice to create a sort of a pocket tuck spot there. And I can do that with this. Wait till you see what I'm doing. You'll be like, oh yeah, I like that. Well, you might think, no, Jez, don't work. But I think it does, and I think it's lovely. And I was so glad I found a use for all that coffee dyed tracing paper I did, which I say I don't think works for a page necessarily, but certainly works for the little elements that we're putting in. There we go, and then do some crumb cake. Where's my crumb cake one gone? That's not crumb cake. Did I not put it back in? Did I drop it? It's there, you Burke. Didn't look like it because that doesn't look like the colour of crumb cake. I love this Neutrals family from Stampin' Up! For Shabby Chic-In. I have got some Tim Holtz Distress Inks, but I've kind of not used them since I started buying Stampin' Up! Ink. Because it's all water-dyed ink, water-based ink anyway, so it all works. So yeah, like that. So then what I'm going to do is get a bit of this, and then I just ink round, glue even, glue this, stick it on top, stick this in the middle, so it's sort of creating a frame, sort of a floating sort of going on there. And then I'm going to get my smaller scissors and I'm just going to cut round. Doesn't have to be perfect, I'm not really fussy cutting, I'm just going round the edge there. And creating an element that way, and I love it. How cute is that? I just think that's really nice. So, and I'm going to stick that on there so it brings out the green of the back, and I'm just going to stick it around these sort of, this sort of edge, so we've then got tuck spot. There we go. Stick it in the corner there. I love Tombow. It sticks so quickly. And there we've got a nice little tuck spot, and whatever you stick in there, you can see a little bit of it, which I think is fab. So that's that side of the pocket done, like it. And then we'll stick something in there. Got some things. That one's quite big, but we could use some of these coffee dyed things, and then you could do some journaling on the back there. I quite like that because we've got that big thing there. So there we go. That's that. So then let's find the other side. Oh, we've got another envelope here. I've already done a bit on there. We could do a bit more. I'd probably do sort of similar, but you have seen me do that. That one's got a bit on. I would do some more on the back, and then we just need to cover that up. So I might use this like so. Let's stick that down, and that'll be hard to make that a tuck spot, so I might just stick that down and make that a little tuck spot. Keep that one simple. And then I can stick things in there, and I can do the back at some later point. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of decorating the envelopes at this stage. So I hope you got some ideas then. And I'll just show you, I've made 3 signatures all together. So if I show you quickly the other 2. So I did these last night whilst watching the telly, and so we've now got 3 signatures ready to put together for our journal. So I quickly do a flick through here. That we've done. So I did that because I had a bit of a doily there. Oh, I've missed an envelope. Ah, that was obviously when I went, no, enough's enough, Jez, you've got to go to bed. So there, I've got that reflected again. Here, so in this set there was some envelopes, so I thought that's quite cool. Stick that there. I might leave decorating until I'm putting things on the pages. So that's what I decided with this. I've got this envelope as well, which I might stick to a page, and there I've done that again. So I was giving up and going to bed, but also I was thinking, actually, I might, another reflection, I might want to decorate this whilst I'm decorating the pages. This one, I have decorated them all. So that was the first time I did one of those pockets, and let me get a thing to go in. So we got there, so that's quite cute, quite like that actually, and that could be poked in there and you'd see some of the writing. So if you wrote some journaling on there, you'd see it reflected through, so that's what I quite like that. I'll use that to demonstrate. Here we've got tuck spot behind, we've got a tuck spot in front. I trimmed that down slightly, and then I just put some doily at the back there for decoration. I like the fact that those are both avocado, and that reflects. There's a different colour. So there we go. They kind of moved when I was shuffling it, and actually I didn't mind. So that's a nice little tuck spot in there. Obviously the envelope, and this I stuck down, so that is not a tuck spot there. You could have made it one, but it didn't. Here, that is a little tuck spot. Again, you can see through it, and you can see where I've attached the doily there over on the other side. No tuck spot there, I'll just cut that down, stuck that down rather, and there's a bit of a flower that matches the ones on there. And then again, and here again we've got another envelope there that we can use. Nice flower there. I chose the pink to sort of match that. That's stuck down, no tuck spot, and then this one I have used as a tuck spot, and I've got that nice postcard which I might end up sticking on this page somewhere, but I'll just put it in there because I loved it. So there we have it. So that is the making of your signatures. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed my first part in this series of my very first junk journal. I will put some of the details and some close-ups on my blog, and there should be a link to my blog coming up, or there'll be one down below. Please like and subscribe if you want to see and press the bell so if you want to make sure that you don't miss a single one of these episodes. And I hope you enjoy my journey as much as I'm enjoying doing it. See you again soon. Bye bye.